Welcome, you're watching NDTV 24/7. This is a special broadcast and I'm Padmaja Joshi. Vivek Agnihotri is set to release his third film in the trilogy of Kashmir Files, Tashkent Files and now the Bengal Files. If there's one thing you can never accuse his films of, it is being non-controversial. But even going by those standards, Bengal Files has created more than its share of noise and a trilogy of films which is one is more controversial than the other. The charges are familiar, that they are politically motivated, it's political propaganda, and that these films aim to target parties and individuals in a fact-free fashion. So how does Vivek Agnihotri respond to this charge sheet? Joining us now on 24/7 is the director of Bengal Files. Thank you very much, Mr. Agnihotri, for speaking to us. I will, of course, start by asking you, why now? You're wearing a T-shirt saying never again, but the timing is in itself being brought into question. Why is the Bengal Files being released now, just months ahead of the Bengal Assembly elections?
The question should be, why not now? See, Padmaja ji, the problem in India is whenever you release any film, some or the other election is going on. And if I had to time it with the elections, I should have released the Bihar Files because the next election is in Bihar. And if I was really wanted to align it with Bengal elections, I should have released it in January. So if I'm releasing a film, because Bengal elections are in April, I should have ideally released in January or February if I wanted to influence elections. And second thing is, how does a film which talks about the partition of India and about the direct action and Noakhali genocide, how does a film on Hindu genocide of Direct Action Day and Noakhali is going to influence elections of 2025? It's beyond my comprehension. I totally fail to understand.
There was an op-ed I was reading in a newspaper and it says, as a Bengali, I refuse to watch the Bengal Files. It seeks to inflame, not inform. What happened in Bengal in 1946 cannot be reduced to a two-dimensional morality play. It requires honesty and sensitivity. Vivek Agnihotri does not have the patience for that. So they're saying that yes, there are scars of Direct Action Day, of the Noakhali riots, but that is being weaponized. The pain of a few people, Mr. Agnihotri, is being weaponized by you in order to divide communities, create hatred, and all of this to a political end. That's the charge.
This is rubbish. I mean, do you think a filmmaker has a power to divide the society? Am I dividing? Was the division of India was created by me or any filmmaker? Do you think Murshidabad riots, which happened recently, they happened because of a filmmaker or me? I've shown it in 12 cities in America recently, and so many Bengalis came. They were crying, they were howling, and they were saying, you have started our healing process. You have to understand there is a generational trauma in Bengal. Bengal was the playground of India's partition. Bengal was divided twice, first in 1905, then in 1947. Nobody has addressed this problem till date. I don't know who are these vested interests who don't want this truth to come out, that Suhrawardi from Shahid Minar called for the annihilation of all Hindus to change the demography change. One very startling fact I want to tell you, I just generally don't tell people. We shot the present time in the film in October, November, December 2024, where we have shown that the demography change is going to create a riot in Murshidabad, and we shot that riot in Murshidabad. And it actually happened in April 2025, 5-6 months later. Have I created it? Film was not released. See, I'm just a filmmaker, I'm telling a story. Ask these politicians in Bengal to stop dividing the society. Ask them to stop illegal immigration and converting them into vote bank. Ask them to stop state-empowered, what do you call demography change. I'll stop making these films.
You know, see, this is what, when you say things like there is state-sponsored demographic change, many people are going to question what a coincidence, you know, that the current government at the center, the BJP, is talking about demographic change in Jharkhand, in West Bengal, and suddenly here comes this film which also talks about how demographic change leads to riots or leads to this generational trauma that you say Hindus have been carrying. That your agenda is aligning with the government's agenda.
See, Or it can be other way around also. Maybe government is trying to align their agenda with my agenda because I shot the film last year. Government is talking about it now, and it is my government. What's wrong if government is talking about internal security issues? Should, as a filmmaker, should I be blind to that? People have made film on 1965 war, 1971 war. So should we say that they were toying with the government agenda? I mean, in Tamil Nadu, people are making films on caste issues. Should we say they are furthering Mr. Stalin's agenda? In Bengal, so many people make socialist, communist films. Should we say they are aligning with CPIM or what? I mean, filmmakers will make films. To say the only problem is demography change, not an internal security problem in Bengal. Can anybody deny that? When I made film Kashmir Files, people were saying, whose agenda? This is India's agenda. And I specialize in making films on Hindu history. What's wrong in making films on Hindu history? People have made films on Islamic history, Jew history, Buddhist history, Christian history, and they are celebrated directors. In my own country, I am being blamed and being punished, and I have no freedom to walk with my children because of security threats for making a film on Hindu history. We are the only nation where Hindus can live. What's wrong in talking about a bloodied history where there was a war was waged upon us by Muslim League and a part of India was taken away from us. Our culture was taken away from us. I mean, why shouldn't I talk about that pain and trauma and suffering? I fail to understand as a filmmaker, this is my right.
Why do you say that you are representing only Hindu history? You are supposed to talk about human experience as a filmmaker. When you say Hindu history in particular, are you saying that you are in some way a mouthpiece for only one religion or one community?
Aren't Hindus human? When Schindler's List was made, when he made it about Jews, Mr. Steven Spielberg, do you think anybody in this world asked him, why are you showing only Jews' pain? So many Germans were also killed in World War II. So many Nazis were good people. Why didn't you make it? Come on, so many films are made on World War. When you make a film on slavery in America, does it mean that all whites are bad? Making a film on Hindu history does not mean I am saying that Muslims or Jews or Christians are bad. Or I am not saying I don't like them. In my unit, some of the most important people who are decision makers were Muslims. Most of my unit was Muslims. My sets were created by Muslims. Ma Kali's statue was made by Muslims. So what are we talking about? It does not mean that I'm making a film on Hindu history, making a film on Jew history does not mean you hate all Germans. If you're making a film on atrocities, that's why never again does not mean never again to Hindus. It means never again to anybody, anywhere in the world. I have full empathy. And also you have to understand, Padmaja, my film, I make art of absence. I don't know, it's a very nuanced thing. I don't know today's viewers understand or not, but it's good to educate them. My films are based on art of absence. It's a very nuanced side of art. Art of absence means you show something, what happens if it's absent. My films show when humanity is absent, what happens to a society and its destiny. At that time, because of Direct Action Day, India was partitioned. If Direct Action Day and Noakhali genocide had not taken place, India wouldn't have been partitioned, and communal politics and communal violence, because of which partition took place, wouldn't have continued 78 years later. Today, Bengal is the most communal place in India, and these are the remnants or the hangover of the same partition, and I think it must stop. That's why I say never again.
In fact, this is the third in your trilogy, Kashmir Files, Tashkent Files, and now the Bengal Files. Again and again, the intent is questioned, and why I keep bringing this up. It's not just a political onslaught against your films. John Abraham recently, you must have seen, he said, and I quote, and he quoted Kashmir Files, he said, when films are made to sway people in a hyper-political atmosphere and they find an audience, then it's scary. And I can't make those films. He's saying that this is a scary trajectory that your films have taken, where in an already hyper-political, hyper-polarized audience and atmosphere, you are inflaming tempers further.
Who said this?
John Abraham said it.
Oh, first of all, John Abraham is not a historian, not an intellectual, not a writer, not a thinker, not an author. And he has been making very, very jingoistic films like Satyamev Jayate 2. He made Diplomat and all those kind of films. He must have said for a variety of reasons. Yeah, if you had told me some great historian has said this, I would have understood it. So I don't care about what he's saying. But when India's or world's atmosphere was not hyper-political, do you think when partition took place, it was not hyper-political? When in America, I just came back last week from America, it was hyper-political. When I went there 5 years ago, it was hyper-political. When I studied there in 80s, it was hyper. When you tell me in your living time, every breath you have taken, have you ever seen in India, Hindu-Muslim problem doesn't exist? It does exist. I've also lived in this country. It's a genuine, the caste issues, the Hindu-Muslim issue is a genuine issue of this country. Why not address it? Why should it be a taboo subject? I am not saying that Hindus should not like Muslims or Muslims. I am saying, what is the last scene of the trailer if you have seen? Mithun Chakravarti is asking, out of these two threads, which thread belongs to we the people of Bharat? My film is the voice of we the people of Bharat. It's showing how a common man suffers when the political powers use communal politics, communal violence, and when they empower these rowdy people, illegal immigrants, when they empower Gunda section of the society like Tolabaj in Bengal, then how we the people of Bharat suffer. This is the theme of my film.
And you saying that we shouldn't paper over the reality. Now, the criticism is it's not about telling the truth. It is about the manner in which the story is being told. Let me quote to you another opinion piece which said that like the Bengal files, Kashmir files ran on the same engine. A relentless invocation of victimhood, one community's trauma is weaponized as grievance and the other is reduced to a monolith of villainy without any nuance. So they're saying, you're shown as these caricatures. Yes, there was a problem, but you are showing that an entire community is villainous and the other is relentlessly milked. Their victimhood, their grievances are being milked. The manner is being questioned.
Oh, these are some blind and stupid or very vicious people who are saying things like that. Or maybe they have not seen the film, or even if they see, they didn't care. In Kashmir files, not even once we have used the word Muslim, Islam or Pakistan. In fact, the opening scene, a Muslim boy saves a Hindu boy. In the penultimate scene, the hero says that everybody has suffered because of terrorism, Muslims, Buddhists, Gujar, Dalit, everybody has suffered because even Christians were killed, Sikhs were killed. And it's a very important dialogue of the film in the climax of the film. So this is all rubbish, Yes, the film is against terrorists, And if somebody wants me to show the side of the terrorists, then I don't understand that human being. Recently I had lunch with Mr. Shekhar Kapoor, the great filmmaker in London, and he said, Vivek, I was lucky I made Phulan Devi in those times. If I had made it today, people would have told me, why haven't you shown Thakur's side, the bad guy's side? If you make Sholay today, then they will say, why aren't you showing Gabbar Singh's point of view? Maybe he had some good qualities also. Tell me people who are responsible for the partition of India, people who gave a call to annihilate all Hindus in Direct Action Day, or the genocide of Hindus in Noakhali, for which Mahatma Gandhi had to say, Hindus run away from Noakhali or be prepared to die. It's a New York Times headline, which I have showed the original headline in my film. It's coming on 5th of September, you will see it. Do you think people who did that, they were good people? Should I show goodness of them? If I don't understand that, I am not commenting on today's people. Tell me something, if Shahjah Sheikh and Sandesh Khali is behind the bars, for which courts have said that his crimes against women are so many that it would take decades to hear them. Should I show him as a good man if the court is saying that? The person who killed this poor girl in RG Kar case, or raped her or killed her, whatever it is, do you think I should show a good side of that person? I fail to understand what kind of logic is this. I think we have made a great piece of cinema. This cinema is going to unite the people of Bharat. People are going to learn that when the state empowers communal politics, then we the people of Bharat suffer, and therefore it's time for all of us to unite and fight against it. I think the film gives a brilliant message. But yes, it's about Hindu genocide, because I am not competent enough to talk about Islamic, Christian or Buddhist or Sikh genocide, because I understand Hindu history best. This is my strength. There are a lot of people who have made films on social dramas on Muslim genocide, they are most welcome to make it.
Kunal Ghosh won't be very convinced because the TMC leader has said, why don't you make a Manipur Files? Why don't you make a Hathras Files? Why don't you go and make a Madhya Pradesh Files? Aren't crimes happening over there? Manipur is just a few hours journey from West Bengal. Why don't you turn your gaze over there?
I am thankful to him. I am really हाथ जोड़ के मैं उनको thank you करता हूँ. He thinks I am so capable and competent that I can make all these files, and I am the only director left in the entire world who should be making this film, which means first he is acknowledging that I can address these problems with a lot of responsibility. I have no problems making Manipur Files. In fact, I have written a very, very emotional poem on Manipur, but I was busy. I announced this trilogy. I am a filmmaker. I announced this trilogy in 2012. I am still finishing it. One part is left. Once I finish that, then whatever I think should be made will be made. But as far as other files are concerned, there are hundreds of directors, and most of the directors have joined TMC party. Actually, most of the Bengal film industry is a member, cadre member of TMC. Why don't they request their own directors to make it? When their directors are not making it, and they're expecting me to make it, I want to thank him very much from the bottom of my heart.
Do you think your film will be released in Bengal? Because ultimately you're telling their story. When you went there recently, there were protests. The trailer launch saw plenty of drama. You allege that it was, the entire trailer release was disrupted at the behest of the ruling party. Do you think that perhaps the film itself won't see the light of day in West Bengal?
I have full faith in political powers. Why would only a very insane, crazy, or a vicious or nasty person would like to stop a film from releasing which talks about the great glory of Bengal, the great heritage of Bengal, which talks about the renaissance of Bengal, which in Hindi cinema nobody has ever talked about, and what we have lost because of sinister politics, dangerous politics of communal violence. Why would a state government want to stop a film which is about illegal immigrants and they are taking away the jobs of the local Bengalis? I do not understand. Somebody has to be very vicious, nasty, crazy, or a stupid person. But the good news is that we, the people of Bharat, are rising up. Today only, the NRIs for Bengal in US and Silicon Valley, they have started a petition requesting the President of India to ensure that this film is released because it's about the Bengal and great Bengal history, and it will help release the generational trauma of Bengalis and will start healing the entire generation. And it also warns the future, about the future, what we should not be doing. And if the need be, if the one thing I want to ask, somebody who has taken the oath of Indian Constitution, how can that person, and why should that person stop a film which is approved by CBFC? This is such an important question. I want everybody to think about it. Does that person have a right to take oath of our constitution which says they will protect us? One thing I want to tell you, Padmaja, that day when this chaos happened, police cut our wires, stopped us from doing it. A stampede took place because a lot of unknown people, sources have told me, were TMC party workers, and a stampede happened. So many women journalists were hit and scuffled, and they sent me messages. I can show it to you, including my wife. People were pushing them, hitting them. Police was standing there and laughing, and they did not even protect one person. They did not stop the stampede that day. All my videos are in television, in public eye. You can see that and decide for yourself what are the intentions of the state government.
What do you think are the intentions of the state government?
I mean, isn't it obvious? For the first time in the history of cinema, anybody's trailer has been stopped, and which is so appropriate to make it on 16th of August. Direct Action Day took place in Calcutta, and 40,000 people were killed. If somebody is trying to stop it to appease a certain vote bank, I don't know, or maybe the person, somebody has lost his or her mind. I don't know. People have to decide that on 5th of September.
Mr. Agnihotri, freedom of speech cannot be selective. You said that anyone who's taken oath on the constitution should not be barring a film only because it tells or retells history. But when Parzania was banned in Gujarat, when the BBC documentary it wasn't allowed to be released. Then also the same questions were asked, that how can you allow for a Kashmir Files, a Kerala story, a Bengal Files to be released? You expect full freedom of expression for them, but not for the other side.
I protested then also. I am against banning of Parzania. I am against banning of Salman Rushdie's book also. I am against banning of anything which is legally approved. My film is CBFC approved and nobody has a right to stop it. Parzania was CBFC approved. Nobody has a right to do that. BBC documentary, I don't know much about what it was, but still I am against it. I always, even my hardcore people who are, they call themselves my enemies, whenever their accounts are suspended or somebody stops their freedom of speech, I always stand up for them and I fight for them. I believe in free speech and I don't think nobody has a right. You have a right to boycott, but you don't have a right to ban anything in this world. I was against when journalists were banned by a political party. I was the first person to stand up and protest against it. I always protest.
But the opposition is not just coming from TMC leaders or, like you said, the cadre of the TMC. A complaint has been filed against you by the grandson of Shantanu Mukherjee, Gopal Mukherjee, or as he's better known, Gopal Patha. His grandson, Shantanu Mukherjee, has filed a police complaint, and his allegation is, and I quote, that the movie distorts his grandfather's identity, and he has basically said that you are misrepresenting his grandfather's role, and his very personality.
Okay, so I have three things to say here. Number one, just because somebody is a grandson of a great person doesn't mean he is also great. If Gandhi's grandchildren doesn't mean that they have to be as great as Gandhi, or Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's grandchildren don't have to be as great as Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Similarly, in this case also. Second, Mr. Shantanu has been talking to me on the phone, and sometimes what happens is, and he works with TMC, he has aligned with TMC, so he has to speak what he's asked to speak. And also what happens, sometimes lots of people, when the films like these are coming at the last minute, they try to blackmail filmmakers because they think they will get a lot of money. But I am the last person to give even 1 penny under blackmail. And I had offered to thank him. I had
Are you
told him on
saying he's
phone that I want to
blackmailing you
thank
and he's being threatened by the TMC?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying some people try to do that. It's history of Indian films. It always, in films which get into little controversy, people try to take advantage of that. I'm not taking anybody's name. But the third thing is, in my film, there is a small episode of Gopal Mukherjee, and it is based on his own interview in BBC. On BBC, he said, मैंने बोला कि वो एक मारे तुम 10 मारना मेरी फिल्म में भी वही डायलॉग है. And the part of Gopal Mukherjee is based on Mr. Shantanu Mukherjee's own interview, which he had given couple of years. Now his political alignment has shifted, so he's speaking some other language. That's his problem. I have shown Gopal Mukherjee as a hero of that time, exactly what he was, owner of a meat shop, who fought and saved lots of people's life. And only when he united Hindus and retaliated because of that, Suhrawardi had to withdraw. And that's why the complete annihilation of Hindus and Calcutta going away to Pakistan was stopped. I have shown him as a hero. And one thing I can tell his grandson or great-grandson, whoever, that after seeing this film, every single person in this country is going to salute Gopal Mukherjee. And last but not the least, I was supposed to inaugurate a statue of Gopal Mukherjee in Calcutta by Gopal Mukherjee's admirers, fans and supporters and followers. They had organized it. But because of security reasons, after the chaos of this trailer, I was stopped going from there. But then they came to my hotel with this photo, a replica of that statue, and they got it inaugurated by me over there. So nobody has to tell me how I look at Gopal Mukherjee's role. He is a hero. We have shown him as a hero.
No, but you've also shown him as a Muslim hater, or at least that's what Shantanu Mukherjee is saying, that you've shown him as somebody who viscerally hates the Muslim community, whereas he says that there were Muslim families that Gopal Mukherjee saved, that there are families who are still in touch with them, Muslim families who are still friends with them over generation, over decades, and that is the basic misrepresentation they've accused you of.
He hasn't seen the film. He doesn't even know what is inside the film. I don't know what is the basis of him saying it. So I must ignore that. But in 12 cities, we have screened full of lots and lots of Bengalis. out of which many people who are historians and who know exactly Gopal Mukherjee's role, all of them clapped when his scenes took place. Nowhere I have shown him as anybody's hater or this thing. I mean, I cannot reveal much, but I mean, he's saying it just because he's to toe the party line. He hasn't seen the film. He has absolutely no clue what is inside the film.
Well, there will always be politics, but ultimately there's only one judge of every single piece of art, of every single piece of fiction, of a work that Vivek Agnihotri is putting out, that is the people. In the theatre, in the people's court, the final word will be awaited on the Bengal files. For the time being, Vivek Agnihotri, thank you very much for speaking to us here at NDTV 24/7.
Thank you. Thank you. See you guys on 5th of September.